Good morning. It is a great pleasure to open this discussion with the Secretary General of the OECD, Mr. Matthias Cormann, focusing on artificial intelligence, one of the most transformative forces shaping our economies, institutions, and societies today. Artificial intelligence is not merely another stage in digital innovation. It is a general-purpose technology with far-reaching implications for productivity, labor markets, public services, competition, and even governance itself. Its impact transcends borders, sectors, and policy domains. As such, effective international cooperation in this field is not optional, it is essential. This is precisely where the OECD plays a unique and indispensable role. The OECD has long served as trusted forum for its 38 developing member states to exchange evidence, develop shared standards, and translate common values into practical policy guidance. Its mission to promote sustainable economic growth, inclusive development, and strong public governance has gained renewed importance in the age of AI. In this context, the OECD has emerged as a global leader through landmark initiatives such as the OECD AI Principle, the first intergovernmental standard on artificial intelligence, and through its work with the Global Partnership of Artificial Intelligence, the OECD has helped ensure technological progress in core values: human-centered innovation, transparency, accountability, and trust. Today's conversation addresses several fundamental and timely questions. How should we understand the AI revolution and its impact on the global economy? What level of action and cooperation is required from OECD member countries to ensure that AI fosters inclusive growth rather than deepening inequalities? And how should governments position themselves in a world where powerful technology companies, unelected yet highly influential, play a central role in shaping public discourse and societal outcomes? We will also turn to the practical dimension. Where should countries focus their investments? In skills, data, research, public sector capacity, or governance frameworks? What successful examples of AI implementation can offer meaningful lessons for others? And alongside the many opportunities AI presents, what risks must be anticipated and addressed, from bias and opacity to cybersecurity threats, market consultation, and the erosion of public trust? Crucially, this discussion also touches on accountability and oversight. As AI becomes increasingly embedded in public administration and decision making, the role of supreme audit institutions and state auditors becomes pivotal. Their ability to understand, assess, and monitor AI systems will be essential to ensuring that innovation remains aligned with legacy, efficiencies, and transparency. Against this backdrop, we are honored to hear the Secretary General's perspectives both on how the OECD itself is engaging with artificial intelligence and on how it is supporting member countries as they navigate this rapidly evolving landscape together. I wish to thank the Secretary General of the OECD, Mr. Cormann, for kindly participating in this conference. This exchange forms part of the fruitful cooperation between EuroSci and the OECD, which we hope to see continue in the year ahead. I am now pleased to open the discussion. How do you view the AI revolution and its impact on the global economy?
The upside opportunities for humanity flowing from artificial intelligence are indeed very significant and very exciting. Significant improvements, of course, in efficiency, productivity and growth, but also enabling major breakthroughs in research and innovation, delivering personalized, tailored, better access to high-quality healthcare services and education, facilitating improved data-driven decision-making across a broad range of areas and indeed delivering environmental benefits, including supporting climate modeling, energy efficiency, or more sustainable agriculture through precision farming, and much more. New OECD evidence shows that across G7 countries, where we have done some work, AI adoption could lift annual labor productivity between productivity growth, I should say, anything between 0.2 and 1.3 percentage points each year over the next decade. That's due to the broad range of sectors with emerging AI applications and also the improving performance of the latest models in language numeracy and reasoning. Looking forward, we would need to boost adoption and diffusion to realize the full potential of AI while mitigating some of the potential risks and disruptions along the way. I mean, many benefits, but of course, as with anything, there are also new and evolving risks and disruptions that need to be managed and mitigated.
What do you expect from OECD member countries in terms of action and cooperation regarding AI?
AI is becoming a key driver of economic competitiveness and growth, and indeed also security. So it's no surprise that OECD countries are developing a growing number of national AI strategies and policies. Aligning these regulatory and policy efforts across jurisdictions is incredibly important. Coordination would help avoid fragmented or inconsistent rules that would slow innovation and discourage investment. And it would also allow policymakers to address common risks ranging from cybersecurity-related risks to illicit content and other risks and disruptions that extend beyond national borders. Here at the OECD, we support policymakers with our common standards, our data, our evidence-based policy advice, and we provide a platform for dialogue and peer learning. Our landmark AI principles, which we updated in 2024, support interoperable AI governance using sound risk-based approaches and while really very much focusing in on the respect for human rights, the human-centric development of AI. And we are continuing to expand our evidence base on AI while supporting countries in building cutting-edge AI capacity, including when it comes to expanding and diversifying the supply chains for critical minerals and semiconductors to ensure that really countries across the OECD and beyond can really drive that increased adoption and diffusion. Supporting the free flow of data, also very important among trusted jurisdictions on which the effectiveness of our AI system depends. And developing the skills required so that people can fully participate in and benefit from AI innovation. Much work to be done, much policy work to be done.
Thank you very much, Mr. Corman. Now let's go to the next question. How do you perceive the role of democratic nations in a world where tech giants, which control AI tools, have the power to shape public conscience and significantly influence society, despite not being elected by the public?
Well, evolving AI technologies bring both benefits and opportunities on one hand and risks also for our democracies. Well-designed AI tools can make public services more responsive, help improve internal efficiency, help strengthen the quality of policy making and policy design, and even enhance government transparency and accountability. But as you quite rightly suggest, AI also brings serious risks. We're already seeing the effects through synthetic content leading to misinformation, and we can expect new and evolving challenges like personalized scams that are very hard to detect. That's why our policies need to do both: capture the benefits of AI while managing and mitigating its risks, so that we can really maximize all of the seizing of all of the benefits while really protecting people to the greatest extent possible from some of the risks and disruptions. Through the OECD Hub on Information Integrity, we are documenting how governments are using AI to support accurate, evidence-based and plural information spaces, and we're also supporting effective competition policy for AI so that AI markets remain open and dynamic, that we're avoiding excessive concentration and keeping a level playing field for innovators of all sizes.
What resources do you believe countries should invest in AI? And in which specific areas should those investments be focused?
Our data shows that there is significant untapped potential when it comes to AI adoption across firms and sectors. Large companies are over twice as likely to adopt AI than smaller ones. And to change this, we need to ensure that we can have open, competitive markets, ensuring AI remains affordable, innovative, and accessible for all, not locked into closed ecosystems of concentrated market power. Governments can also help by investing in the foundations of digital inclusion and productivity, enhancing broadband connectivity, particularly in rural areas, promoting affordable access to digital infrastructure, including cloud computing power, high-performance servers, and data storage systems, and very importantly, focusing in on the human capital, boosting AI skills in small and medium-sized enterprises.
Could you share any notable success stories related to AI implementation that you believe could serve as valuable models for others?
We're seeing a growing number of AI success stories, including in your field of public audit. The OECD is working with partners such as the Portuguese Court of Audit and regional audit institutions in Austria, for example, to develop AI tools that help strengthen audit work, from risk analysis to data-driven audit selection. That being said, there's no single model that can be replicated everywhere. Effective approaches must be tailored to institutional context, including mandates, legal frameworks, data availability, and the level of digital maturity. So, but learning from and benchmarking against peers with similar roles is incredibly valuable. Some jurisdictions, like Brazil, for example, have successfully invested in building strong in-house AI capabilities. Others, like Costa Rica, have pursued large-scale AI deployment through partnerships with technology providers. But despite these differences in approaches, there are several common lessons which consistently emerge from our work. First, the human capability is and remains essential. AI delivers value only when auditors have the skills and the confidence to interpret, challenge, and validate its outputs. Institutions focused on practical hands-on training tend to see better outcomes. Second, leadership support matters. When senior leaders back AI initiatives, they create space for experimentation and help ensure alignment with institutional objectives and public value. Third, innovation must be anchored in governance to manage risk and ensure AI use remains ethical, transparent, and trusted.
It was very inspiring. Thank you very much. Alongside the many opportunities AI presents, what risks do you foresee in its widespread use?
As with every rapidly developing technology, there are risks to mitigate and manage alongside the many benefits flowing from AI. These do include ethical concerns, labor market related considerations, security threats, privacy issues, the risk of anti-competitive dynamics that could slow adoption or deepen divides in a way that is counterproductive to economies and societies. And we also need to consider the environmental impact of large AI models, which are often highly energy intensive. The OECD has long been at the forefront of global efforts to address these risks and to help advance safe, secure, and trustworthy AI in a way that respects human rights and democratic values. The OECD AI principles, which I've talked about before, offer a flexible, values-based blueprint 4 policy frameworks to address AI risks and to help shape AI policy development worldwide, but in a way that really does also facilitate the seizing of all of the exciting benefits and opportunities, and that also helps ensure that innovation can continue to deliver further improvements. We're now developing an implementation toolkit which will provide tailored practical guidance for developing and emerging economies to advance the implementation of the OECD AI principles. Beyond the AI principles, the OECD provides data analysis and recommendations covering AI issues across the full spectrum of public policy topics, from education and employment to innovation to healthcare to public governance, sustainability, and more.
Is AI being currently used within the OECD? If so, could you provide some examples of how it's being leveraged?
Of course, AI is also changing how we work here inside the OECD. In 2023, we became one of the first international organizations to release guidelines for staff on the use of generative AI. We have since updated those guidelines, and we're now developing an organization-wide strategy on AI use to pinpoint where AI can add further value to our work and to the leveraging of our content work, and to help ensure that every application is backed by robust risk measures. This also includes exploring uses of generative AI to make some of our corporate services more efficient, for example, in translation and document processing. And there's also been significant uptake of traditional AI in OECD work, from developing new data sources through web scraping to enhancing existing data through nowcasting of economic indicators. That said, we're still carefully considering the full range of potential applications of generative AI in our work, and very much with the view of appropriately balancing the upside benefits and opportunities with well managing and mitigating some of the associated risks.
How do you see the role of state auditors in relation to AI-related issues, and how can they effectively monitor and assess its impact and usage?
Well, as you all know, state auditors today face a dual function when it comes to artificial intelligence, one of oversight and one of adoption. First, audit institutions must be able to provide independent assurance on how AI is used in the public sector, checking legality, ethics, transparency, and effectiveness. And that means looking closely at AI governance frameworks such as data protection, risk management, accountability, and compliance. And as AI becomes embedded in core public functions, auditors will also need to assess value for money and the real outcomes linked to AI-enabled systems. But on the other hand, public audit institutions also need to modernize their own operations by using AI to boost their own efficiency, responsiveness, and accuracy. And that requires investing in capacity building and developing new AI-focused audit methodologies, like any other organization or any other business. The OECD will continue to support state auditors with our analysis and policy research across both of those priorities, and we very much look forward to continuing our work with all of you in that regard. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to participate in this session today.